it's difficult to choose one guy. I'm going to go Max Poole of DSM. Young rider, really good climber. Is not high up in GC, and I think it's a guy who can be in the break and win the stage from the breakaway. So I don't know what his odds are or will be. Maybe we'll find out in a little bit, but Max Poole winning from the breakaway would be my first choice.
Hi, I'm Spencer Martin, along with Johan Bruyneel, and this is Outcomes.
Outcomes is not an online gambling operator or a gambling site of any kind. We are simply here to provide information about sports betting for entertainment purposes only. It is a responsibility of all visitors to this podcast to check current local laws in their area or country before doing any gambling online. It is your responsibility to know and follow your local laws in place. Although we try best to provide accurate information on Outcomes, we cannot be held responsible for any inaccurate or incorrect information which is mentioned on this show. If you place any bets based on the conversations on Outcomes, you confirm or understand that it is possible to lose some or all monies used when betting on sports or doing any gambling. You cannot hold Outcomes responsible for any such losses. Our podcast is here to provide entertainment and should be viewed as that and nothing more. Thanks for tuning in.
Stage 8 of the Vuelta a España. But before we get Johan's take on how that's going to play out and who's going to win, I want to ask you, Johan, about today. Stage 7, your pick, Wout van Aert, won the stage. If you looked at the results, you'd think, well, that was pretty straightforward. He wins a sprint out of a bunch of non-sprinters. No, it was not that simple. The final climb was incredibly hard, made hard by Red Bull for Roglic, I guess, to try to test distance. Race leader Ben O'Connor. Roglic ended up getting some time bonuses. And then it got very messy in the end. Without Sepp Kuss, I was surprised, kind of not torpedoing his own GC chances, but showing us that he's willing to do other things here, do things at this Vuelta outside of the GC. Wout doesn't get that win. But what was your big takeaway from the stage we just watched?
Yeah, I mean, Wout van Aert obviously was a great opportunity for him. He took it. As you said, he owes it to Sepp Kuss. Probably also a little bit to Bora, to Red Bull Bora, for setting the pace, and Caden Groves getting dropped. Unfortunately, we saw him crash. We don't know how that would have played out if he didn't crash, but still, Wout van Aert stayed where he in those 30 riders and deservedly won the stage. I was a bit surprised to see Roglic attack himself several times. Probably to test O'Connor after his massive ride yesterday. Maybe they were thinking he'll feel it. He didn't feel it. I mean, he was responding easily. I think today, after him seeing how easy he reacted, I think they're going to be even more regretting yesterday's decision. But now they have to deal with it. O'Connor is in the lead with a comfortable advantage, and they'll have to be very inventive now to see where they can get time back. But they will try. And maybe even tomorrow they will try already. We don't know. But great win for Van Aert. Second stage win. Curiously enough, in his career, the first time ever he wins a race in Spain. He's never won in Spain.
I didn't think about that. Yeah. Because it was in Portugal the last time he won.
Well, I mean, he did win. I think he did win a cyclocross World Cup race in Spain last winter, but a first road stage. But I think a great day for him for the green jersey, man. I mean, like winning the stage. His main rival, Caden Groves, not scoring any points. That's a major step forward in that classification for him. A part of, obviously winning 2 stages already. I'm happy. I'm happy for him. He deserves a few wins, and after 7 stages, 2 stage wins already. I think that's great for him.
Yeah, and it shows us that Visma is really serious about that green jersey. I mean, deploying Sepp Kuss like that, maybe that was a Sepp Kuss decision, but they're not messing around. They're going for stage wins, plural, and the green jersey, and they'll probably get it because he's already blew out that advantage today because Groves got no points. I saw Red Bull getting a lot of crap on social media for pacing on that climb, leaving Roglic isolated. But Vlasov was there. Like he reeled in Sivakov at the end. So you probably knew Vlasov was going to be there. And Roglic is so strong that okay, he's isolated. Like Roglic can take care of himself, even if he's attacking. Like I thought that was a little overblown. They get 6 seconds back. I know it's easy to scoff at 6 seconds because O'Connor's lead is still 4:45. I think this is going to be tight margins at the end. Like every second counts from here on out for Red Bull and Roglic, because if you count on him taking a good chunk on that final time trial, it's going to start to get like, they're going to start counting time bonuses on every stage and see how many they can get.
They need to take every opportunity, Spencer. Plus I even think that they'll have to hope for one stage, a combination of a bad day of O'Connor combined with a great day of Roglic. Otherwise, I mean, if O'Connor rides smart and whenever he is a bit in trouble, he rides his own pace. I mean, I can't see him lose those 5 minutes if he keeps his own pace. It's going to be 30 here, 20 there, 40. But he's still going to have a margin before the last time trial, unless he has a bad day, which of course can happen. And if it's on a steep climb, like for example, Lagos de Covadonga or something, then, of course. But the Vuelta, traditionally, it's not won by a huge gap, and especially with the riders we have here, these guys are not riders that ride away minutes from the rest.
Yeah, I mean, I think a bad day. I'm going back to 2022. If you remember, Evenepoel had that lead. Roglic was bringing it back a little bit, but like the stage 15 where Thymen Arensman wins. Evenepoel finishes 1:59 behind Arensman and like 15 seconds behind Roglic. Like I think a bad day is going to be a 90 second loss for O'Connor. Like, I don't think it's going to be like he loses 20 minutes on a stage, 10 minutes on a stage. I think they have to count on, if he has a bad day, they're not getting that whole gap. So they have to start whittling now. And that takes us to stage 8, tomorrow's stage, which is hard to classify. It's one of these, it's kind of like a Vuelta hockey stick stage. It's 160 kilometers, so not that long. A Cat 2 climb, a sprint point, and then finishes on a Cat 3 climb, 4.8 kilometers at 7.2%. But the first climb doesn't come until 105K into the stage. So that's good for the breakaway. We're recording. This is Johan's birthday. So happy birthday, Johan. I hope you have a great dinner, but we have to record early before the odds are released. So we're just going to say who we like to win, but we will not be saying what their odds are. We could actually probably guess pretty closely what they will be, but we can't say for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's difficult. We haven't seen the choices of the betting houses, but I think it'll be breakaway. It's difficult to check to choose one guy. I'm going to go Max Poole of DSM. Young rider, really good climber. Is not high up in GC. And I think it's a guy who can be in the break and win the stage from the breakaway. So I don't know what his odds are or will be. Maybe we'll find out in a little bit. But Max Poole winning from the breakaway would be my first choice.
I would guess he's going to be, this is a little bit of a guess, but like +2,000 to 3,000. If we're thinking about Max Poole, other people are thinking about Max Poole, probably be around like 5th or 6th favorite. I'm going to go, back to the well. I mean, this actually, we talk about this every Grand Tour, but you think who's going to be in these breakaways? And I do think it's going to be breakaway. We had a hard time deciding if it was going to be breakaway or not when we were just talking privately, because Red Bull needs time. Like they borderline might need just to go for these time bonuses because, as I said, I think this is going to be tight. 105K to the first climb. That's a long time. And it's going to be, if there's no break going, it's going to be a tax the whole time. So, and it's a hard stage on Sunday. So I do think breakaway. I think I'm going back to stage 6. Who was the best of the rest? Marco Frigo, Israel Premier Tech. I was really impressed with that ride. He finishes 4.5 minutes behind O'Connor, but he finished like 45 seconds in front of Florian Lipowitz in 3rd. And Lipowitz is a really good rider. Frigo's good at getting him moves. He's clearly on good form. Israel Premier Tech will have a rider up there. I think Frigo is the best bet. Not bad.
I mean, yeah, he had to be good to be in the break, first of all. And then he was the best of the rest. So O'Connor's not going to be there for sure. My other scenario, Spencer, is that the breakaway doesn't make it and that Red Bull Bora tries to control it in the end and goes for and the bonus seconds before the last climb and some time gain on the last climb and bonus seconds. So second scenario, everything comes back together and Primož Roglič wins the stage. That's my second pick.
It's not impossible. I mean, especially if it's like what happened yesterday. We didn't see it and we won't see the beginning of stage 8. But, if there's GC riders or guys who have lost time who are GC fringe, GC contenders trying to slip into this move, it's going to get brought, it's like washing machine starts all over again. If that keeps happening until that first climb, there's a good chance that it's not a break day and it is GC. And Roglič is a good hedge. We don't know what he's priced at, but let's say he's priced at, I wouldn't be shocked if he's the favorite actually, but let's say he's at plus 400 to win this stage. It's not a bad hedge because if it's GC, if it's Peloton, it's probably Roglič. There's not many people. I think Lennart Van Aert would be the only other rider I think that could beat him from the Peloton on that finish. So I don't hate that pick, especially if it's priced. If it's priced over plus 500 or cheaper, definitely go for it because then you're not full of anxiety all day of like, is this breakaway really going to stick? When's this break going to go? Because if you wake up and you look at it and it's two Euskadi riders off the front, you're going to feel it's not going to feel that great for the rest of the stage. So Roglič is not a bad hedge there. I think since you picked Roglič, I probably would have picked him. I think you're going to have to help me with this name. This guy, I'd never heard of him before Vuelta Burgos, but we just saw Pavel Bittner. I'd never heard of him before Vuelta Burgos, and he just won a stage. But Urko Berade. This guy is really good, really strong. As you said, to get into anyone in that breakaway on stage 6 was incredibly strong because everyone wanted to be in it. It didn't go until the climb. So we know he's really, really fit. He got 8th. He did finish in front of the Peloton, but I bet he is not priced as aggressively as the others just because the name recognition isn't there. And he's on a small second division team. I like him to win if it's a breakaway.
I don't know, Spencer. It's a bit of a stretch. He didn't win any races yet, I think, or not many. But yeah, I mean,
zero pro wins.
Once has to be the first time, but in this Vuelta, it seems like there's some more guys. I'm quite impressed actually with the level of some of those riders of Euskaltel and Kern Pharma. Today, another guy got 3rd. A guy of Kern Pharma, I think, right? So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, they're obviously in good shape. And yeah, why not? Why not? We'll see.
I'm trying to I remember there was a rider on, maybe that was 2021. It was on one of these small Spanish teams and he won like a first week uphill finish. Oh yeah. And it's kind of a tradition. And then he got a bigger contract, but I cannot remember his name. Yeah. For the life of me.
Damn it. He was on Movistar before also. I forgot his name now. I forgot his name. But anyway, yeah, he was very popular. He won. He's wearing, guy wears glasses. Yeah, I forgot his name. And he's very popular guy on social media, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I think he had to retire this year because he had an accident and he broke his elbow and couldn't really stretch his arm anymore and had to retire because of injury.
Never stopped Domenico Pozzovivo. Can't bend your arm. Just tuck your whole body down on that bike and suck it up for 6 hours every day. But we do not have any head-to-heads because the odds are not yet, and we can't make up our own head-to-heads. But just to ask you one more question before we go. Have your thoughts about Ben O'Connor changed at all? He's still at plus 175, the same odds he was at the end of yesterday's stage. Do you feel better or worse about him after today?
I feel better about him. He's completely recovered, and like thinking again about what happened yesterday, analyzing his performance. That was a huge performance he did yesterday. Those last 30K were incredible, and then seeing the comments of some of the team directors, they were really, really, really surprised. They thought that they had the breakaway under control, but they did not count on the level of O'Connor. I think he has a decent chance to win the Vuelta, honestly.
I think so too. I mean, as I said, I maybe overreacted right after the stage, but even just like last night, wrapping up my newsletter, I was thinking, I can't believe this happened. And like he's a good rider. He's a really good rider. Plus 175 is a little pricey, but that's a lot of time of time to make up. So I like that as well. And then one other thing to think about, Wout van Aert for points, minus 420. I hope you got him at minus 155, like we suggested earlier. But King of the Mountains, Primož Roglič, favorite now, plus 360. The reason I bring this up, Red Bull has to get extremely aggressive from here on out, which means Roglič will most likely pick up a bunch of KOM points.
Yeah.
So I like him at plus 360 to win the KOM jersey.
Yeah, I think so too. There's a lot of uphill finishes. He needs to take advantage of almost every single one of them. So
yeah,
automatically
he's going to be, and no one has a ton of them at this point.
Yeah. I like how much 360?
He's plus 360.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's good.
And Chicone is plus 750. Carapaz plus 1100. The reason I don't like them as much anymore is there's no room to mess around for Red Bull. No. Like you can't be letting these breakaways get up the road and take time bonuses.
Yeah.
Well, Johan, if you don't have anything else to add, we'll let you get on with your birthday. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will talk tomorrow to predict stage 9, which is a tough mountain stage.
Thanks, Spencer.
All right. Have a good evening.